Howdy folks, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, and you are looking at a bunch of camshafts and cam caps and VVT gears off of the Toyota engine that I have finished cleaning up, soaking in a chemical dip, getting all the varnish and all the oil and carbon buildup out of them. I've got the VVT gears nice and clean. Look at that. They look like they're brand new. Camshafts look like they're brand new again. Cam caps look like they're brand new again. I don't know if you can see through there. Let me see if I can find you one. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. Look how clean that is. Looks like it's brand new. It's no longer stained brown with varnish due to lack of oil changes and all that other good stuff. Now, when you're dipping your camshafts and you're cleaning them, one of the things you need to do is make sure you wrap them up, and don't just wrap them up, but wrap them up with oil. You can see that I've got fresh oil in there. And the reason being is when you clean camshafts like this, you pull, when you take the varnish off of it, you also pull all of the oil out of the pores of the metal. Okay, so you can't just go and reinstall the camshaft with normal grease. You need to soak the camshaft in oil again, and that needs to happen in a stage. Right now, the first stage, since we're not ready to work with them just yet, is to simply just store them. So we'll wrap them up to keep them safe from the elements, and we'll put oil on them as well. If you do not oil a camshaft after cleaning it, it will absolutely rust, and it will rust really fast because it's that oil protection that keeps them from rusting. Then the next thing I do is a day or two before I install them, I'll get a 5-gallon bucket, I'll fill it up with fresh oil, and I will dip and soak these in oil for a day or two to ensure that I get oil all back throughout the microscopic pores and the camshafts and all that other stuff. And then I'll install them with a little bit of assembly lube on each cam lobe, and you'll be good to go. And so that's how you want to handle your camshafts. With the cam caps, did the same thing, soaked them to the point to where I got the varnish out of them. They look brand new again, and I've got them sitting in oil wrapped up so they're safe from the elements, and they've got an oil protection layer there so they're not getting rusted or anything like that. One of the things I'm debating doing is I wanted to take the oil pan off and the secondary oil pan on this engine, and I wanted to get up and I wanted to clean the crankshaft. And one of the ways that I was going to do that was I was going to get a 22 rifle barrel cleaner. So, just the long brush that you would use to clean the rifle of a barrel. A 22 is the perfect size for cleaning and sticking it up inside the journals of the crankshaft. The problem is I think that's going to be not as easy as I thought it was because, I've been dealing with so much rust on this stinking thing. And in order to get this first oil pan off, look at that. Let me see if you can see that up in there. Get you some good focus maybe. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but watch this. I'm just simply going to rub my finger on here. Look at that. Hold on. You see that? I just stripped that bolt head out. Okay, same here. Watch. That's so corroded. That's simply rubbing your finger on there is what strips it out. Oh, watch this one here. Look at this one. Look at that. That's bolt head material coming off right there, okay? And so sometimes you'll hear me talk about how something is so corroded that you don't even have to turn it to strip it out. All you have to do is put your socket on it. Well, that's what's happening on these. And so, I don't know, man. I really, really wanted to open this engine up wide open, expose the cam, run a solution from the top to the bottom, blow it all out with compressed air, clean all the oil journals out. I really wanted to do all that, but at this point, I don't know, because this is going to be days to get off. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But another thing I wanted to show you here is look at all this mess. You see all that? All that dirt and grime? And you notice I've got this thing kind of covered up right now? That's because right down here in this valley, look at this. You see that? That's a rat's nest or some type of critter nest. And it's right down inside of this valley of this engine, right down in between these two heads, okay? This type of stuff right here. You see that? It's everywhere because I've been blowing it out. This type of stuff can absolutely wreak havoc on your engine. All right, I've seen rat's nests that have been left for so long, it's eaten a hole through the aluminum in the cylinder head, or it's eaten a hole through the crossover pipe that you see here. So I'm going through and I'm blowing all that crud out of there the best I can. Now, you absolutely cannot remove this crossover pipe, nor can you get down inside of there without taking off a cylinder head. So all I've done is I've loosened it so I can get down in there and blow all that crud out of there, basically. So that's pretty much the last things that I have to do before I start putting this engine back together and doing what I can to get it reinstalled into this Toyota over here. Some of the things I wanted to point out, some of the reasons why this thing is so corroded is because you can look, like for example, you can look on the suspension here, all right? And, you know, this person obviously likes to go off-road and likes to do things, but if you look right here, look, this is earth. This is old dirt. This is from going, and it's caked up on here all throughout this vehicle. This is from going off-road and not going straight to the pressure washer or to the car wash afterwards and knocking this dirt, dust, and grime off. You can see we got the transmission in. We're just waiting on the engine. And so this is what happens. This stuff builds up and it stays on your frame and it eventually rusts things out and corrodes things, as you can see right here and as you can see here. Okay, it just creates acne and corrosion and all that other stuff. So whenever you go off-roading, whenever you go out camping or anything like that, the second you get back to town, it should already be on your agenda to go straight to the car wash and blast everything off underneath your vehicle so you can get all that gunk and grime out of there so you don't run into this issue. I mean, some of this stuff, honestly, to a certain extent, looks scary. Like, it looks like this stuff could break at any moment right here, you know? I mean, you never know. It's just nasty. And so that's, as you know, that's been the story on this whole Toyota. Now, this rat's nest deal, before I let you go here, I've seen this before. I used to live down in Texas and do, you know, that's where most of my career was actually spent. I've only been in Idaho for about 6 years now. But down in Texas, it doesn't get real cold during the winter. So we wouldn't see this a whole lot, but I've actually seen this up here in Idaho quite a bit on a regular basis. And what it is, what happens is, you're out driving around on a cold day, right? You come home at nighttime or even in the middle of the day, you come home, but it's 20, 30 degrees outside and it's cold. You turn your vehicle off and for hours, it's still warm. It's still nice and warm. And it's especially warm down inside of this valley. And so an animal, a rat, a squirrel, a mouse, you name it, even cats. I've even heard of, I haven't seen it, but I've heard cats getting up inside of starters, cats getting, you know, basically up inside of engines because it's warm, and the next thing you know, you start your vehicle, it makes a horrible noise, and you find out you had an animal in it. And it literally happens. And so they get in there because it's warm, and they build a nest. The only problem is when they leave, they don't take the nest with them, and over time, that nest completely destroys your engine. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cleaning this all this up, getting all that rat's nest out of there, doing all that other stuff. I'm going to clean all the top half up here, get all this cleaned up and whatnot, and then I'm going to make the decision whether or not I'm going to tackle that oil pan or whether or not I'm going to just leave it. For the amount of work we've been doing, it would be really crappy if that's the only cancer we didn't cut out of this engine, and lo and behold, couple months later, we need to go back and do something with that because now that's all messed up. So I'll make that decision here in the next day or so and decide what I'm going to do there. But for the meantime, I'm going to finish up cleaning out all this nasty rat's nest, and then from there, decide where I'm going to go next. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys that and give you an update and all that other good stuff. I appreciate you watching my shows. I hope everybody's staying safe. and healthy during these trying times. Believe it or not, you guys are definitely on my mind. I appreciate you all. Some of you I've stayed in constant contact with and become friends with now through email, and so I appreciate those relationships and all that other good stuff. So, all right, guys. Well, this is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, signing off.